Muli naman, makakakwentuhan natin dito sa studio ang speed skaters na sina Xsandarie Viande Guimba, Renee Caitlyn Lee Benitez, Ethelmae Jewel Suguitan at Shaelyn Adrianne Bolos na nagbandera ng bansa sa 33rd Southeast Asian Games sa Thailand at sa katatapos lang ng Sea Trophy Manila 2026 na ginanap dito sa Manila. Good morning to you.
Good morning, girls.
Good morning.
Now, before we dive into your Southeast Asian Games experience, let's get to know all of you more. Caitlyn, before ka mag-speed skating, you were part of the national hockey team. Why the transition? Why switch from hockey to speed skating?
Oh, so I actually transitioned to speed skating when there was a recruitment happening for speed skating because there really is a lack of female skaters in short track. So, I thought I'd give it a try when they were looking for skaters, and I tried it out, and then I realized that I wanted to keep going with the training, but my shift to short track wasn't a last-minute decision. It was more, there was still a transition because there was a point where I was doing both at the same time because I was finishing up a hockey league as well, but I started training more in short track and I gained momentum from there until I started competing in competitions and eventually the Southeast Asian Games.
Now, for Sab, you used to be a figure skater. Was it hard to transition from a sport that is artistic and more graceful to a sport like speed skating, which is quite fast and chaotic?
So yeah, I think there was a bigger adjustment from figure to short track than I originally expected, but figure did help me to develop the balance on ice already. So.
Now, for Ethel, you came from an inline skating background. Was it hard for you to transition?
Not really. It was basically the same because I started with figure skating too, sorry, and hockey, and then just during pandemic I switched to inline because the rink was closed during pandemic, and when I came back I transitioned to short track, and it was pretty easy for me.
Now, for Xsandarie, this is not your first Southeast Asian Games experience. You competed last 2019 Southeast Asian Games. How will you compare the 2019 Southeast Asian Games to this year's edition? At the same time, is the preparation challenging for you, most especially you're based in the US?
For me, it was definitely challenging this time around because last time when I competed in 2019, I did more online classes since my high school allowed me to. And so it was a little bit different. I didn't see my friends that much during 2019, and it was mostly me and my mom when I would train back in South Korea. Now, my preparation for this edition of SEA Games was a little bit different because I was taking full-time classes, I was working as a tutor at the same time, and I also did some summer training back in Korea. So it was a little bit more hectic, but with me competing in 2019, I guess that brought down the nerves down and made me feel more ready for 2025's edition of SEA Games.
Now, you are a newly formed speed skater, all-Filipino team, all-women team. What was the most challenging part about this newly formed team?
I would say the most challenging part of it was with me studying in the United States. I wasn't able to come together or train with these girls as much up until like about a week or less than a week before SEA Games. But we did pull through eventually because I really wanted to get this medal, and I imagine so did these other girls. And so we pulled through, we communicated as much as possible, we adjusted to our coaches, lineup changes for the relay, and yeah, I think it worked out pretty well in our favor.
Now to Xsandarie, you clinched 2 silver medals. How does it feel to win, and what was the most challenging part in your game?
This is for the C Trophy Manila.
Oh, this for C Trophy Manila. Since I only went back to skating around June of last year, and like I trained a week before with these, with my teammates, I was pretty surprised because I wasn't on ice as frequently for about 4 or 5 years. So I'm pretty happy with my performance, and I feel inspired to continue skating again because honestly I thought this was going to be my last one after SEA Games. So yeah, I feel like I want to skate again. I feel reinvigorated.
I will just go back to the Southeast Asian experience. For Caitlyn, how was the Southeast Asian Games experience for you? Most especially, you clinched the bronze medal.
I feel very honored and privileged to have competed in the Southeast Asian Games because, I'm one of the newer athletes in this sport, and getting to compete there is like such a surreal experience, and getting a bronze medal was even a more amazing experience. So it really made, all the hard work and sacrifices that I've poured into the sport for the past 10 months so worth it. And, I'm equally as proud, with my teammates because we really pushed each other, to be our best. And, I'm just very happy to be where I am right now.
For Sab, you are a SEA Games first timer. How was the experience for you?
For me, it was also, of course, it was an honor to compete in an event as big as this. It was definitely an experience, and it was definitely an experience, and such an honor.
And how did you prepare for this?
For our women's relay, we prepared by, of course, a lot of training hours and a lot of practices. We really focused on building the chemistry as a team because that did really help with our relay.
For Ethel, what is the most exciting experience for you in the recently concluded Southeast Asian Games?
For me, the most exciting part about all this is to represent my country. I really did not expect that from the beginning. At first, it was just, okay, I'm going to compete outside, I'm going to represent. But when I got there, it felt different. I felt like I had a whole responsibility. So when I was skating, I just felt like I need to do this and come home, and for people to think that, wow, it must be really nice to be a Filipino from watching me.
Now, after the Southeast Asian Games, you competed at the SEA Trophy Manila. According to JC yesterday, we were able to talk to them. 8 countries competed in this competition. How was the experience for you? Did you have a hard time in this competition, Xsandarie?
Who is this question directed to?
How was the experience at the SEA Trophy Manila, competing with 8 countries?
Skating with a bunch of international skaters, at least for our group, we skated with 2 other girls from India. It was nice to be able to see these much countries with all of us being tropical. We don't naturally have snow or lakes turning into ice, so it was pretty nice to see them come together in Mall of Asia and compete with us. Considering how hard it is to get ice time, I can see everyone's hard work, all their efforts in training, and this goes not just for the Philippine team but also the others that participated as well.
So anyone can answer. I want to know, how do you balance your studies or your schools with ice sports or with your sports?
I won't lie, it was kind of hard because I did mention earlier I was actually taking more classes than I should have, to be honest. But a lot of it kind of came down to the support of my professors. I'm an exercise science major, so a lot of my professors tend to lean more athletic, and so they do get it if it makes sense. That, this is a huge deal for me to compete and everything. So through a lot of communication with them and being being able to say like, okay, I'll catch up, or like I'll make up for these assignments, or I'll do these alternative assignments in order to train for SEA Games, and in order to actually I had to like leave school a week early just so I can train with them. So I'm pretty happy that they were willing to adjust to my schedule, and I just made it work with them through time management.
So with that said, do you have any upcoming games or preparing for something? Please invite our viewers.
Sam.
So right now I think that we are kind of in the off season, so like more in the training season. But we're looking forward to the Asian Open?
Asian Open.
Yeah, Asian Open trophy in around August. Yeah. Yeah, in India at around August.
Caitlyn? Invite our viewers to try speed skating, or if you have any shout outs or you want to greet anybody, please do so.
I would just like to say to anyone who would like to try short track, it is a winter sport, so it would definitely be great for the growth of our sport, to like have newer skaters and for people to try it out. And we just want to thank the Philippine Skating Union President Nikki Cheng for supporting us throughout this journey, and our coach Kevin Villanueva for really pushing us to our limits to be able to get to where we are today. So thank you.
On that note, maraming salamat sa Philippine Women's Speed Skating Team, and congratulations sa inyong bronze medal finish sa katatapos labang ng 33rd Southeast Asian Games.